an icy battlefield. Next to you is an elven woman and an older elven man. Across from you stands a group of 5 weary warriors, and a sense of calm relief washes over the entire scene. And as you begin to walk away, you feel your consciousness begin to float away. Roll a wisdom save.
Ooh, 5.
You fail, and though you are entirely aware that these people are safe and they go their separate ways happily, you're thrown across the time and space, across the planes of existence, and you end up in the body of a young human who
Half-elf.
seems half-elf. Sorry, who seems to be carrying all of his belongings and trudging along a sandy road. Welcome to Threshold Sunlight, our D&D 5e podcast. We've got a new setting, a new story, new characters, and a new player. My name is Matt, and I'll be your Dungeon Master for this adventure. Let's go around and meet our players.
Woo! My name's Tom, and I will be playing Octavius Sabellum. He's a cleric, and he's not really settled on what race he is.
My name is Mitch, and I'll be playing Amere Filbert, a whimsical bard, and he's a human.
Woo! So, to begin our story, we are joining Octavius. You've just left your home. You're on a road that leads from Nod to a small city named Sift. Home to really not much at all, apart from the Sift College of History and Magic. Why you want to share with us why this is going on, Octavius?
Yeah, Octavius grew up in Nod with some uninspiring parents. His mom stayed at home and his dad was a tailor. He's pretty convinced that he was either adopted or some sort of strange amalgamation of fate ended him up there, and he's really destined for greater things, and he's a half-elf or even a pure elf.
So these are not bad people, though. They're just sort of like sand of the strip type people.
Yeah, sand of the strip. They're not bad in morality, but in Octavius' eyes, they're bad because
just
they don't
mundane.
They're so mundane. They don't excel. So
right.
he has gotten fed up with his dad. His dad, whose name is Tavjin. Tavjin has always been asking him to take over the family business of the tailory, and he's got fed up, and he's packed up his belongings, and he has gone off to go to this college where he thinks he will excel, or at least start finding some truth to his ancestry.
Wonderful. So you are trudging along this sandy road, making your way towards Sift, and meanwhile, in the city of Sift, we pick up with another young human by the name of Amere Filbert. It's an average day in Sift. It's warm out. The sun is shining. If you walk around the city, there's not really a whole lot going on. The only thing that really might catch your attention, there's an extremely long line of young humans, elves, just a different assortment of races, standing in line, leading up to the stone steps that lead into the Sift College of History and Magic. Do you go and check this out at all?
Yeah, I do.
If you move a little bit closer, you maybe see that working its way towards the front of the line. Each of these prospective students, it seems, are applying, if you will, to enter the college. And as you make your way up, you see various spells and prestidigitations going off in the air, different lights shining and flashing. It's all very interesting and intriguing. If you stop a moment to watch a few of these would-be wizards, you will see, walking down one of the main roads in Sift, very purposefully towards this group, a single. You're not really sure. It looks like it might be a half-elf. It might be a human. He's carrying a lot of things, and he's walking with a purpose and a sort of air of importance about him. And this is actually the first time that Octavius and Amere meet. Do you two want to take it away from there?
I just want to know what I'm looking at. Is Amere in the line?
Amir is off to the side, looking at the different magics that the people are performing. He's not that impressed.
So
are you doing anything like strumming your...
Yeah, he's strumming his rebec.
Can you remind us what a rebec is?
A rebec is a medieval fiddle.
Baby.
Very small.
Do you want to give me
fiddle.
a performance check just to see how well you're strumming it? You can take it at disadvantage if you're not really wholeheartedly going into it. Whatever you'd like.
All right. That is a 13.
Okay, it's nice. It's pleasant. People are not angry that you're playing, but no one's stopping to give you any money or anything.
Okay, over by kind of in that area where Amir is, Octavius is going to cut the line pretty close to the top, and he's just going to be like, excuse me, I believe I should be expected here, and he's just gonna like cut towards the front of the line. Whoever's there, I don't.
Yeah, there's a young woman, a human, who is in the process of casting a prestidigitation in the air. It shows up as like a lion's head of lights, and as you shove her a little bit to make your way towards the front, she loses concentration on the spell, and the lights sort of just they fall from the sky and just land over your head and like fall to the ground. It looks kind of cool, but like she seems pretty upset that you've done this and pushed her out of the way.
Yeah, and I'm like, excuse me, my skill far surpasses yours. I do believe that I should be in front of you.
Okay, so as you say this and rather unceremoniously push this woman out of the way, you would come face to face with a gaunt looking human man holding a very long scroll with a quill in his hand, sort of hunched over, and you push your way to... You said that you belong here, is what you said?
Yeah, I didn't... He's confident in that, but I don't know if that is true.
No. I just want to make sure that's what you said. So, in response to this man will look up from his quill and scroll over the top of his glasses. He cocks his head and looks at the rest of the line that you have just cut in front of, and says, "Very well. What is your name?"
My name is Octavius Sabellum the First.
Sabellum. He draws his finger down his scroll. He makes it to the bottom and looks up at you and says, "No, I'm afraid I don't have you on the list."
And then I'm gonna reach into a pouch on my side, and I'm gonna bring out a snake's tongue, and I'm gonna say, "I'm pretty sure I'm on the list." And I'm going to cast Suggestion on him.
Okay.
So he has to make a wisdom save.
That is a 17.
Yeah, that's going to pass. I should be just ready for your hardest course of study.
And as you pull out this this snake's tongue and cast a spell on him. You see him draw himself up to his full height, which is probably about 6 or 7 inches taller than you, and he looks at you very severely and says, "There is no need for trickery. Rather deceitful, I feel. If you so desire to enter the college, you may certainly apply. Please demonstrate your worth as a magician, as a wizard, should you wish to enter."
Right now he's asking me to?
Yeah. He wants you to sort of like NFL combine this and just show how awesome you are at magic. He's giving you the chance to show off, and if you do good enough, he'll probably let you into the school.
I know. All of my showy spells are very dangerous.
This is also all in earshot of Amere. You're definitely close enough to hear this whole conversation going on. Do you have any inputs at any point? Do you have just an epic background of music going on during this interchange, maybe?
There's still just music playing.
Okay. What sort of tune are you playing?
It's an upbeat tune.
All right. So what do you attempt to do in order to demonstrate your worth as a spellcaster, Octavius?
I'm looking through my spells.
I cast inflict wounds.
That's what I.
Oh man, you get the sense that might be a bad idea. Is that going to be your new throw a dagger at it?
No, yeah, probably. So
you don't. Just to be clear, this isn't some sort of show me your level 50 spells.
No,
he's
I'm
gonna
take. I've got a lot of
low level casters to see if they're
I got a lot
qualified.
of. I've got a lot of books on me.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take out a book, and I'm gonna try to rip the break the cover. You know.
Okay.
Oh, this is what I'm gonna do. Take out a book, put it on the ground. I'm just gonna hit it with a rock until the cover is smashed. And by smashed, I mean broken. And then I'm gonna take 2 lodestones and I'm gonna mend it.
Okay. He looks somewhat impressed by this. He thinks that might be a good show of skill. But he remains silent. Doing that thing, where if someone wants you to continue, so they just don't say anything.
I hate that.
What were you going to say, Amir?
As he is doing this, Amir is going to be still doing his verses, and he's going to say, "And after all, that was that, and they rested inside Lehman's tiny hat," and he's going to cast Lehman's tiny hat.
Oh, baby.
What is that?
I don't know, but take a point of inspiration for a legit, off-the-fly, original song. Check it out on iTunes, listeners. It'll be there. No.
Please check out our podcast on iTunes.
That though, actually.
Lehman's tiny hat is 10-foot radius, immobile dome of force springs into existence above you. I want to say that I'm close enough to Octavius to where the hat will fall on top of both of us.
Okay.
Yeah,
what's the radius?
10 foot.
Okay. So it would probably just be the two of you.
Me.
Possibly the headmaster if you maneuvered properly. Are you trying to get everyone in there, or just you and Octavius?
There might be some other people. Yeah, we can have the headmaster in there.
Okay. Yeah. So the three of you are now. What does it look like as this happens?
A giant effing hat falls from the sky.
What sort of hat? Like a top hat? A bowler
like
hat?
a wizard hat, like
a party hat.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, so you're all standing inside of a giant wizard hat now.
And I'm gonna turn and go, "You fool! You're ruining
as this all happens, so what happens as the hat falls? Does you do anything fancy, or you're just trying to show off a little bit?
Amir's going to look surprised, like it was just a line in the song, and he didn't expect the hat to come out.
Okay, so as you look surprised and this happens, the headmaster sort of like takes a step back and like flinches, does a double take, and looks rather impressed. You said you're casting Dispel Magic now?
Yeah, and I'm like yelling at Amere. Like, why would you interfere with such a prominent individual's application?
So do you get to cast Dispel Magic? Just get rid of it right away?
No, the DC is 10 plus the spell's level.
Okay.
So I have to make a
DC 13.
Oh, that's a 22.
Okay.
Oh man.
Octavius
Describe
is
what it
pissed.
looks like as you get rid of this hat.
It shrinks right past us into a little hat, and then I walk over and I put the hat on Amere Filbert, and it disappears when I put it on there, and I say, "Don't meddle with this."
The headmaster.
So Amere and I are standing right next to each other now.
He's rolled up his scroll and tucked his quill into a pocket, and he sort of folds his hands in front of him and says, "Yes, the two of you. Welcome to the Sift College of History and Magic."
The two of us?
Yeah,
you mean
the two of you?
You mean me and my and him?
Yes, I assume you planned this demonstration here.
Yes.
Amir is still playing.
Great. So you're accepted into the Sift College of History and Magic. Do you want to tell us what happens during the 4 years or so? Do you both accept and go into the school, for one?
I definitely do.
Yes.
Okay. Great. Do you want to maybe tell us some of the hijinks that you get into while you're there learning the different magics and whatnot that the school has to offer you? Free creative reign at this point.
I'm just going to say Amere and I are in the mess hall talking. It's towards the end of our... And we're just sharing, like, remember that times?
Yep. Okay.
And I'm going to say, Amere, it's been some crazy 4 years. Remember that time we filled the ladies' dormitory with water? Who knew a simple song and some material components would make such a tidal wave?
Amere, give me a performance check really quick.
That is a 18.
An 18. You actually wrote a song about this water flooding incident, and it is something of a what's the term? Like fight song? Is there a better term for fight song? Anthem?
No.
College anthem?
Yeah.
It's something of an unofficial college anthem now at the Sift College of History and Magic.
The Cafe of Water Flood.
Nice.
It would work much better if your Dispel Magic worked.
Great.
Oh, do you remember that one time where you stole that ancient text from the college library?
Shh, Amere. It's under my bed. The Book of Pyrrho I need it. It's a very important book. I've learned to channel my magic through it, Amere.
What a great adventure that was.
One day they're gonna find out that I just put a lot of bags of sand in the library, and it's not a tome at all.
So, as you're discussing this here, it is the graduation week here at the Sift College, and throughout the hallways and different classrooms and lecture auditoriums, there are graduate projects that are sort of assembled to be presented to the headmaster and the graduate committee by the students in order to demonstrate that they are prepared to move on and graduate from the college. So as you walk through the hallways and classrooms and whatnot, you see all sorts of different, all sorts of magic and whatnot that are being put together. There's alembics and beakers and other sorts of like potion brewing projects that some students have put together. Others have like tomes of ancient magics that are sitting out open as they read through them, chanting incantations. Still more have inscriptions scrawled on the ground with some sort of ritual ceremony that they're performing, lit candles and other sorts of magical components being used. Just all sorts of like fantastical magic stuff just strewn about the entire... It's sort of like, a playground for the two troublemakers of the Sift College of History and Magic.
So, Amere, I think we should try to steal the Chaos Orb. What do you think?
Sounds awfully heroic.
Okay, so the Chaos Orb being a powerful artifact that one student is presenting for their doctorate or their graduate project. You're not entirely sure what it does. It's a glowing glass orb that the colors inside shift from gold to black to purple, and it's sort of just like, it looks kind of like a lava lamp if a lava lamp were a sphere and could float magically on its own.
Okay, Amere, I think if we get the Chaos Orb, I might be able to inject my own incantation into it so that it displays some of our heroic exploits during the graduate presentation of the Clerics of Zao.
Are you currently setting up a senior prank?
Basically, but more... I wouldn't call it a prank. I would call it more a senior celebration of the most skilled students at this college.
I'm glad that was in character. That sidebar was in character.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who are you talking to?
Yeah.
Amere.
So what do the two of you do in order to set up this prank, as you were, as
Amere,
you will?
Amere, I'm going to sneak into the Zao graduate dormitory. Laboratory combination dormitory. It's chaos over there. Amere, I'm going to sneak in tonight. I'm going to try to replace the Chaos Orb with this rather large glass orb that does nothing. What do you say?
Here we go again.
All right, so I'm going to need stealth checks from the both of you.
Can I cast non-detection on us before we move out?
What does that do?
It's going to hide us from detection of divination magic.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'll let you roll your stealth checks at advantage.
Whoa, I got a 20. That's
all right.
A 20.
That is a 16.
All right, great. So your stealth check is certainly enough. You make your way through the corridors and hallways, and the Chaos Orb sits in front of you. There's like a dragon claw statuette that's sitting underneath it, but it hovers above it by like 3 or 4 inches.
I've got a glass, what just looks like kind of a gaudy Christmas ornament. That's what I got. A really big one.
I hope it's like filled with like confetti, like colored confetti to match the colors of the Chaos Orb.
Yeah, it's just kind of. It looks like someone made like a paper mache version of the Chaos Orb. But I'm ready.
A poorly painted Chaos Orb.
Amere, do you have anything that might aid me in my ability to switch these two devices?
Yeah, someone's gonna have to make the sleight of hand check to switch it out.
And whatever it is that you will need, I trust that you will succeed.
That's it, Amere. Oh, wow. I got an 18.
Okay.
I don't know if I need your song.
Is that Bardic... Well, do you have to cash in the Bardic Inspiration? I assume that was Bardic Inspiration.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was
okay.
Bardic Inspiration.
And it was pretty badass.
I think it's your choice. I'll cash it in anyway.
All right.
22.
Oh, 22 total for the sleight of hand?
Yeah.
Time out now. When he does Bardic Inspiration, I think he gets the satisfaction of adding the D6.
Oh, okay.
in
I have
the
an
future.
18.
Do you want to roll it?
I rolled a 6, baby.
Oh,
24.
All right. I think you have to succeed with a 24. Do you want to describe what it looks like as you swap these things out?
Not only do I swap them out, I have this elaborate set of wires, like 3 sort of. I'm just making it look like it's floating there.
Okay.
I've got 3 small wires that I've set up, so I'm wrapping them around the dragon, the dragon
Clawed
hands, and I am
pedestal.
so I love that Amere played this song for me, so I'm so pumped, and I'm like, okay, we got it, okay, let's get out of here.
Okay. You take with you the chaos orb and leave behind the Christmas ornament and head your way out of there. Are you trying to be sneaky on the way out, or are you just riding high?
Amir is not trying to be sneaky.
I'm feeling pretty good
He's
now.
like
so I'm gonna
skipping and he's playing his Rebecca.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm feeling pretty good, so I'm just kind of I'm throwing up the chaos orb and catching it. I'm like, okay. How am I gonna...
As you turn a corner, while you're doing this rather carefree, it would seem that you have alerted someone to your presence. In fact, the headmaster and several of the professors come bolting around the corner and bump into you as the orb is flying through the air. Make a dexterity saving throw to see if you manage to catch this thing. Which one of you? Not both of you.
I made it. It's a 9.
9. No, you fail. The orb goes flying through the air. I'll make a dexterity saving throw for the headmaster. He rolled a 2. He lunges for it. You lunge for it. You both collide halfway and just fall to the ground. The chaos orb lands.
Oh no, that's going to be chaotic.
It doesn't shatter, but it cracks, and the crack begins to spread as the entire ball begins to fracture. It hasn't shattered yet, but it's certainly going to. What do you do?
Let me cast mending.
Amir is going to cast Lehman's hat.
Lehman's hat?
Yes.
Over the orb?
No, over us. He's going to
Oh.
say,
The orb?
they cannot see it where we're at. Inside Lehman's tiny hat.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Stop it, dude! I can only give so many points of inspiration.
Oh my god,
Great.
that is now my favorite verse in all of D&D.
I cannot see where we're at. So you get your lodestones out and you begin to try to mend it, and suddenly you're cut off from this ball by an enormous hat.
I turn around and go, by Zal, Amir, why do you always put a hat over us?
What do you think they're going to do once they catch us? We need to
so
get
it's
out
just
of here.
Where are we gonna go? We're in
It's just you and Octavius that are under the hat?
Yeah, just us.
Okay. So as you're bickering in the hat, you hear a loud poof sound. It's not an explosion, more like almost like a smoke grenade. You might expect how one of those might sound. So the two of you are under this hat. You hear this loud explosion. What are you doing?
I think we're gonna fight for a little while. Be like, Amir, just putting a hat over everything doesn't solve our problems.
It certainly helps them.
We have no idea what could be going on out there, outside this stupid blue wizard hat.
What's ever going on out there, I'm just really glad it's not going on in here.
I have half a mind to walk right through this wizard hat.
Wait. Before you do,
Are you gonna sing again?
it is a part of my ability to grant you invisibility. And Amir's going to cast invisibility on Octavius.
Okay. So you're invisible. You still got like 7 hours and 55 minutes of hat time. I assume that this is like
Amir's
your
going
private
to-
clubhouse, and you
Amir's-
guys go there all the time.
Yeah. Amir's dropped his hat on us almost daily.
What a great spell.
Hold on, I'm looking at the spell information. It's Tiny Hut with a
No,
U.
no. It's a hat now. I don't care. It's a hat.
It's much better.
Yeah, anyone in the Threshold universe who casts What is it?
Leoman's tiny hat.
Lehman's tiny hat.
Amere, just
Lehman
because
was in Norway.
just because hat rhymes with more things doesn't mean you could change the entire spell.
Oh man, he did though, and it's part of the canon. That's a fact in the Threshold universe now.
Oh my goodness!
So
you
you're
don't
invisible.
understand the basics of rhythmics.
You're invisible. Amere is chilling in the hat. The explosions and puffs of sound are dying down. Things seem to be calm outside now.
Okay, so I guess it's up to your discretion. It's not really clear whether the spell ends for everyone when one of us leaves, or the spell just ends for the person when it leaves.
We'll say that he can dispel it, but it'll maintain. You can.
I'm gonna
out
walk through
freely.
it. Yeah.
Okay, so you walk out.
So I'm actually gonna climb through. I'm gonna say it's a wizard's hat with like yellow stars.
Okay.
And I'm gonna like climb through one of the stars as if it was like a play place tube.
Yeah. Okay, that's what it is now.
Yep. I climb through the star and I look out and I'm like, what do I see?
You don't see anything. In fact, you are not in open air.
What is it? What does that mean?
You immediately lose your ability to breathe, and your vision is entirely consumed by purple and gold.
Uh-oh.
And you can move, but
like
it's
move
sort
like
of,
swim?
you can move like swim, but it'd be more like you were swimming through like a thick foam.
Interesting. Don't know what to do here.
Well, you probably need to get to the surface, or you will suffocate.
So I'm gonna use my amazingly athletic, spindly body to try and dog paddle my way through the chaos foam.
Okay. Give me a strength check. Athletics.
Oh wow, it's a high roll. I got a 17.
Okay, in one single swoop, you manage to make your way all the way to the surface of this foam. And as you do so, you can see that it is filled. It has entirely filled everything that you can see. All of the hallways, corridors, and classrooms to the brim with this purple and gold foam.
I see.
The only place that seems to be unaffected is this wizard hat that just is sitting in the middle of the hallway.
Did we kill anyone? Do I think we choked out the headmasters? They're pretty good magic casters.
Give me
They'll
an
be fine.
Give me an Arcana check.
It's a bad roll, but I'm good at that. 12.
You sense that there was probably some sort of teleportation recently from this area.
I'm sitting there. Am I just dog paddling on the top of the foam? Like
You can actually sort of like sit. It's thick enough that you can sit. It's sort of like a non-Newtonian fluid.
a non-Newtonian fluid.
You know, like when you combine like cornstarch with water. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
You let it. It's sort of like the opposite of that, though. When you move through it, it becomes liquid, and when you're standing still, it becomes more solid.
Okay. I'm gonna cast sending,
Okay.
which is basically like super message.
Oh, okay.
It just means I can cast message across planes of existence and without, I don't know. Basically, it's just message. I just don't get messages. My class. So I'm gonna say, Amere, you better come out here.
I thought you said that magic couldn't penetrate the hat.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, Amir has no idea what you just said.
So I try to cast it, and then it just hits the hat, and I go, man, you think I'd learn one day?
You know what? I
can't get back in the hat.
I will say that since the two of you have done this so frequently, and this thing can traverse planes of existence, you said?
There's a 5% chance the message won't arrive if they're on a different plane of existence.
Okay, so give me a D100 roll. No, just a D20, because that 5% works nicely with that.
It's a 19.
Okay. So I will say that since you are so practiced at this hut situation, that you are able to send this message through the planes of existence, getting around the hat's magical barrier.
Amere, you should come look at this.
Amir's going to go outside because he thought he meant look at what's outside.
Outside the hat?
Outside the hat.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So the hat collapses, and the rush of foam sort of just splashes down over you. Give me an athletics check.
It is a 11.
Give me another one.
I'll try to assist him if you want.
That
He's too
is
far down.
a 14.
Okay. You managed to make it to the surface without taking any points of damage.
I had to save my Rebecca. It's very hard to swim with.
Oh yeah, it makes it fine.
When he reaches,
Actually, if you look down at your belongings, your clothes, and your instrument and whatnot, you see that it's not staining or even like touching you. It's almost as if the foam has like a very thin barrier where it won't actually envelop you for some reason.
I'm gonna turn to Amere, and I'm like, it looks like I'm pissed, and then I just start laughing, and I'm like, this is awesome.
we high five.
As you do so, the foam begins to pour out, sort of like a river, as if someone has opened the building or something from the outside, and the two of you go flying out. You're headed for the main entrance to this room, or to this building, and you see the headmaster and the other professor standing there waiting for you. Do you want to try and
We're gonna try
divert down a
swimming the other
hallway?
way.
Okay.
No, I was going to go straight at them.
Okay.
I'm
Amere,
swimming the other way.
Amere, all right, give me a strength athletics check.
That is also a 14.
Yeah, you don't manage to do it, unfortunately. This this tide is going pretty hard.
Can I do an athletics check to land on my feet right in front of them?
Dexterity, acrobatics, I think that would be.
13.
13. You can land on your knees. but
Land on my knees,
upright.
and I'm gonna kind of like genuflect and go. I present Octavius's graduate thesis.
Oh my gosh. The headmaster stares
Remember
at you.
Amere.
Oh, Amere,
And of course, Amere failed it. Addendum.
did you do anything? Give me a or acrobatics check as well. See how you land.
1.
Okay,
I'm
so
landing on my face.
He just like sprawls.
so you land on your knee. You sort of throw your hands out and say, "I present to you this," and then you say, "Amere Filbert." And as that happens, he comes flying from behind you, and he lands in the arms of the headmaster, who's now holding him. And he looks down at you, and he looks at Amir, and he starts frowning, and he looks furious. And after a moment, he just bursts out laughing. He sets you down and just walks away from the pair of you.
Oh man.
So the two of you, against odds, are presented with an opportunity to graduate. Do you accept it and take the graduation? Do you want your degrees from?
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
take it with honors.
Okay.
Amere Filbert addendum.
Amir, are you taking your degree?
Yeah, Amir's gonna walk down the graduation path like with Octavius, still strumming his Rebecca.
Oh yeah. There are maybe some cheers from inspired students who are like, those guys are legends. The two of you graduate and you head off into the open world. You spend roughly the next 5 years out in the world. What do you do to make money and a living during these 5 years? That brings us to modern day.
I assume Amir's kind of along for the ride.
Yeah.
As far as Octavius, he's treasure hunting basically,
Okay.
or like tomb raiding.
Okay. You get breast implants and you carry a pair of guns.
Exactly. And Octavius's shorts get so short.
So just so short. He becomes like triangularly shaped somehow, as if
but
his
then
polygons
later-
are reduced.
He gets
Go on.
rebranded into
Strong, independent
strong
female.
woman that wields
Yeah.
a bow.
Great.
Also, he doesn't wield a bow.
Anyway, so you guys are treasure hunters and explorers.
Yes.
You
And I get a little
actually-
bit gruffer. Like I start carrying a mace and wearing armor because we've gotten into some
A
stuff.
mace?
I think so.
Okay.
Haven't actually checked if that's a good idea. Maybe a sword.
Yeah. Okay. You can hammer that out later. I don't think it'll
Maybe
be
a
huge
hammer.
issue.
Yeah, maybe a
Ooh,
hammer.
A great hammer.
Maybe a shovel. No, that'd be stupid.
Oh man,
Whoa.
rude.
Got
Hey,
him.
Rip. Rest in peace.
He's around.
He's somewhere.
Yeah, he's somewhere.
He's enjoying.
He's
Newman's
around
Ranch?
twice.
Is that it? I don't know.
He's on the ranch. He's there's two of him over there.
Anyway, you the pair of you, give me just roll a D100 for me.
19.
74.
19 and 74. Whose do you want to use?
Oh, they'll use Amere's. I've been rolling a lot.
Okay, so that's a 19.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You do fairly well for yourselves. You amass a decent amount of gold and treasures. We'll go over those in more specifics later. They're kind of mundane and boring, but it'll basically be your starting gear for our full adventure here. And word of your success travels far and wide across Syraxis. And one day, as the pair of you are emerging from your hat, you are met with a messenger. It's actually a gnome, a young gnomish man.
That's
Which-
awesome. That's where we sleep. Like we get ready for the night, and we're just in a barren tent, campground, and then we're in a hat.
Yeah, so you're met with this gnomish messenger, which is rather rare. Gnomes are not especially common on the strip, to my knowledge. That might be wrong.
No, I've never seen one.
I had never seen it. And he presents you with a very ornate-looking scroll, and it's stamped with a lyre, like a wax seal of a lyre. You know what a lyre is? It's sort of like a handheld harp.
A man with his pants on fire.
Yeah, it's a man with his pants on fire.
That's what I assumed.
Yeah. And he bows to you very deeply and then just skips away very jovially.
That was odd.
What a strange little man.
Amir, what does our wondrous letter say?
Yeah, Amir's just gonna take out the letter and look at it.
All right. You unfurl the scroll, and it's very ornate, very regal looking, and sort of fancy, like much more so than you're really used to, even at all. Like in all of your
Yeah, I feel like we've
exploits
been doing
across
dirty
Yeah.
jobs.
Well, this is even just anything you might have even seen elsewhere in the area. This is well beyond the fanciness. This is up there. You open the scroll, and it's a personal summons to the city of Kuru, and it is signed by the Sandstone Guild, whom both of you know to be extremely successful dungeon delvers and explorers. They specialize in that trade, and in addition, it bears the insignia of King Tanston Turin. King Tanston Turin the Harmonic. And it is beckoning you to come to Kuru in a plea for aid, actually. They want your help.
Well, I'm not surprised, Amir. It appears our exploits have been heard throughout the lands. I've always wanted to travel to Kuru.
Kuru.
I've always wanted to travel to Kuru.
King Tungsten, the great hero of old. We must go at once.
I need both of you to give me an intelligence check. I want to see
Intelligence or history?
We'll go with history.
Yeah, we
Oh,
will.
yeah.
I want to see if either of you actually know anything about Kuru, because it is very isolated.
16.
13.
13. You don't really know anything about Kuru. You may have heard of it in passing, but not. You're not especially familiar.
Can I give a deception?
16
Can I give a
for me.
deception check as well?
Okay. To whom?
Amir?
Okay. Oh, you want to bluff and say you know more than you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got a 14 on my deception.
He hears what you have to say, but you'd have. Do you want to do insight to oppose it? What's your passive insight? We'll say
Passive insight, that would be 12.
12. Yeah. So he believes.
I'm
what
just
you
going
say.
on and on about like, oh, Akuru, it's a famous city, and I'm just saying vague things. Like,
Yes, it's
magic
upon
and it's isolated. There's definitely gnomes,
of course.
and they send ornate letters. I've studied it greatly.
You said you got a 17, Amir?
16.
16. With that, you recall in your studies at the college, you know the Turans. They're extremely powerful bards. They're the monarch family of Kuru, and they have ruled for the entirety of its existence, roughly 700 years.
Yes, it was one of those weird book things we were supposed to read. I think there was something about the Turans.
Well, I read the book, but we should go at once.
The two of you make your way to Kuru. It's a very long trek. You have to actually go around the Urukum Mountains and make your way through part of the Nolway Desert. On the way, you come to sort of like it's a path, but the path is sort of hugged very closely on either side by a sheer cliff. And above, you can't really see what's going on the cliff above. Do you you walk through this this passageway, or are you going to attempt to traverse it and go around?
Through
Through the
I see what you-
passageway, yeah.
Through the passageway. Roll initiative.
Oh God, a 5.
19.
So, as you pass through, from above, a dark shadow comes plunging down into this crevasse and lands in front of Amere, who was in front and is slightly more ready than his traveling companion. As he lands, he swings with an enormous greatsword.
This is a human that we're fighting?
As he lands in front of you, you see that this is actually a very tall knoll.
Okay.
You've maybe experienced quite a few knolls in your day. Actually, why don't you give me, what do you think it would be? History? Survival?
History or survival?
I think survival is probably more applicable here.
It's 19.
You know that this is a knoll captain. He's much more powerful than maybe the more average knolls that you've experienced. He wears strong armor and carries a large sword. And this is not a threat to be taken lightly. He lands and swings with that great sword, a two-handed hit. Does a 20 versus AC hit you, Amir?
Yes, it does.
Great. I'm going to use average damage, I think. What do you guys think? Should I use average damage or
Yeah.
should I roll for it?
I think the average speeds it up.
Okay. I'm going to use average damage for this this series. If listeners, if you don't like that, if you want me to roll, just let us know. I don't really care either way. And yeah. So that's going to be 7 oh no, I'm sorry. I can't math. 10 slashing damage. I had to change up some of the statistics on this guy. 10 slashing damage as he brings his mighty two-handed attack to bear across you. And that brings us to Amir. It's your turn.
Amir is going to look serious for a moment, and then he's going to take out his rebec from behind him, and he's going to start singing. And he's going to say, Octavius will rise above the rest. The hero from the west, Octavius is the very best, and nothing shall elude him.
Okay, so what is that?
He is casting heroism.
Oh, what does that do?
You get 3 temporary HP each turn. Because that is my charisma modifier.
So you get 3 at the start of Amir's turn, yeah?
Of his turn, I believe.
Oh, okay. So you get 3 at the start. It'll fill back up to 3 at the start of your turn. So, is that your full turn? Are you going to move away from this thing or do anything else?
Yeah, he's just going to stay there.
That brings us to Octavius.
So Octavius has landed. You should know about Octavius's battle setup is he actually wields a buckler that is a book. It's like a really reinforced tome.
Yeah, with metal cover and
it's got the symbol of Pyrrho, the god that he researches and you can say
huge
worship.
leather binding.
Yeah, so
I gotta draw this thing somehow.
Yeah, he's got the book shield, and he was actually looking through it really, that's why he's delayed. He's looking through it, and he's like, oh, it's a gnome. It's a gnome knight. No. Gnome. No. Yeah, I'm on the wrong page. He goes, and he's like, okay, I got this. And he's going to, run at it with the book, right?
Okay.
And, full speed, and the book is going to start glowing red as he starts, incanting.
Okay.
And he's going to say stuff like, Crucius.
He's going to cast the Cruciatus curse on this man.
Basically, yeah.
You're now being pursued by the Ministry of Magic for your unforgivable.
But he's running at it, the book starts glowing red, and he hits it.
He slaps it out of the way and casts Avada Kedavra. Okay.
And he's going to cast that as his max level, 3rd level.
What are you casting?
Inflict wounds.
Okay.
So I'm making a melee spell attack. That is a 16 to hit.
Yeah, that'll just barely.
Okay, it's max level, so I gotta get a lot of dice. It's gonna be 21 damage.
All right, 21 damage. He looks.
Oh, I didn't roll enough. I'm sorry.
God,
I didn't read that.
Damn it.
25 damage.
25 damage. Okay, that he's looking pretty rough. He's not bleeding, but he looks very angry at this point that you've done
And I'm
going to
taunt him too. I'm going to say, what business do you have attacking such high-level spellcasters?
Give me an intimidation check.
And instead of saying high level, he said, well-renowned. 12.
No, you don't intimidate him. He actually takes this as an insult, walks past Amere, who could take an attack of opportunity against him if you wanted.
Amere has his rebec out at the moment, but yeah, he'll hit him with the rebec.
Okay, improvised weapon.
That is a 20 to hit. 18 plus 2.
What do you think? A D6 would be fair for a rebec? It's like a club.
I think if you use a D6, you might have to tune it at some point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's going to take some damage if he does this too many times. So roll a D6 and add your strength.
That is a 6 damage.
Okay, cool. He makes his way over towards Octavius, and he raises his greatsword once again to attack you.
Before he hits it, Amir's just going to shout, Overture! It's just going
to punctuate his attack?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's so good. That is 13 versus AC.
It's going to miss.
He swings. You manage to deftly dodge out of the way. You parry the blow with your mighty great shield book thingam. And it is Amir's turn.
Amir is going to take out his long sword then and hack at this man with 2 hands. 2-handed long sword. Alright, that is a 16 to hit.
Yeah.
And Octavius is going to go, encore.
And actually, I will say that he is flanked right now, so you could actually roll that at advantage if you want.
Okay. Nope, still 16.
All right.
Amir is going to say, crescendo!
Amere is basically just Sona from League
for
of Legends.
7 damage.
Great, 7 damage. He looks pissed. Not bleeding yet though. No, I'm sorry. He is bleeding now. As you cut into him, you see blood begin to pour from that wound. Octavius, your turn.
Octavius is just going to, at this point, attack with a short sword.
Okay.
So, 16 to hit?
Yeah. You guys just rolling 16 on the nose, huh?
Ooh. It's like minimum damage 4.
4? Okay.
No, I did not add a proficiency 2. Sorry. I don't get my proficiency.
What are you hitting him with?
What?
What are you hitting him with?
A short sword.
Oh, okay, but you okay.
I was adding
weak.
proficiency to the damage instead of
okay.
my dexterity modifier.
So that's 2 damage, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
I scratch him.
Yeah,
So-
he didn't look super phased by that attack. In fact,
Probably stick to the book.
he's going to ignore you altogether because that was so insignificant, and he's going to turn and lunge at Amere with a biting attack.
No, man.
20 hit.
Yes.
Okay, so that is that's 7 piercing damage, and I need a con save.
Is this one that
Hey,
bleeds?
I'm not that bad at con. 22.
Okay, so you simply take the 7 piercing damage. You feel some sort of evil energy flow through the wound, but you manage to shake it off. And that takes us to Amere, your turn. Do you need to roll concentration, anything on heroism?
19.
Yeah, okay, you maintain concentration. Heroism still in effect, and it's your turn.
Okay. We're gonna go at him with the longsword again.
Great.
For a 17
advantage.
this time. Oh, right. Nope, still a 17 this time.
All right, that'll hit.
Okay. That is 11. 11 damage.
11. Okay. Fantastic. He's looking pretty rough at this point. Octavius, it's your turn.
Okay. I'm gonna right in front of him, I guess. I'm not backing away.
All right.
Actually, no, I will back away. I take his back step, so if he wants to take that.
Well, you're right behind him. Because
Yeah,
we're
but if he wants to
flanking
take
and
an
he's
attack.
turned towards me.
He doesn't. He swings wildly, but he's not facing you. He misses.
Okay, he has to make a. My book. The shield is actually going to flap open, and it's going to shoot a radiant beam out of it. If I'm casting Sacred Flame,
Okay.
the radiant beam's going to hit him. He has to make a Dex save throw.
9.
That's going to fail. So
Man.
he is going to take 10 radiant damage.
He's looking real bad at this point.
I'm going to taunt him again and say, "Would you like your life spared, or are we going to have to burn you?"
Give me another intimidation check at advantage.
Oh, this time it's as high as I can get, a 19.
All right. He's scared at this point, but he's not running away. He's going to roll a disadvantage on this turn, though. He lunges towards you, dropping his greatsword, sort of getting down fairly on all fours, and he's going to try to bite you. Does a 17 versus AC hit?
Me?
Yes, you.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so that's 7 piercing damage as he sinks his teeth into you, and I need a con save.
It's a pretty high con save. 18 for the con save.
Yeah, you feel the evil energy flow as well, but you manage to shake it off.
You said 7?
Yeah, 7 piercing damage as he sinks his teeth deeply into your shoulder. And that actually would incur an attack of opportunity if you so chose, Amere.
Yeah. We'll stab him in the leg as he's running away.
No longer flanked, though, so it's not an advantage.
That's a 13.
All right, that misses. It clangs off of the shoulder piece of his armor, and he runs away unhurt. And that brings us to Amere, your turn.
Amere is going to take out his Rebecca again. Surrender now all you hold dear, for I know exactly what you fear. And he is going to cast Fear on him.
Oh, man. Okay, so what does that do?
A phantasmal image of a creature's worst fears. Each creature in a 30-foot... Oh, so it might affect Octavius, too. Must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or drop whatever it is holding and become frightened for the duration.
Wisdom. Okay, the Knoll rolled a 10.
I rolled 23.
Yeah. The DC is 13, I believe, so...
Okay, so he drops whatever he's holding?
Yep,
and
he becomes frightened and moves away, dash action to move away from me to the safest available route.
As a reaction?
On each of its turns.
On his turn, okay. Cool, so Octavius, your turn. What do you see that you managed to shake off?
I started to see, like, an image of my parents... like my birth, my two human parents. I started to see that how they've
really?
described.
Okay,
and I'm just like, no,
cannot be.
Cannot be.
I thought for sure it would be you like hemming a pants or something.
No.
Okay.
So then he's gonna. Is he right in front of me still?
Yeah.
So again, I'm going to look at him and I have my book shield and I'm just gonna like shield bash him with it with all the necrotic energy I can muster for an 18 to hit.
Yeah.
Okay. I really gotta have more of these ready for this kill move. Oh god, I dropped one.
You know what? Roll it at advantage because he's scared. So he's kind of like not even paying attention to you.
I don't know if you can crit. You can't crit it, I don't think.
It's a melee spell attack, so I don't care what the rules say. I think you should be able to.
Okay. That was a lower one. But I did roll a lot of maxes, so this is 30 damage.
Okay. You tell us how you kill him.
I just say, you should have run rather than dabbling in what you do not understand, and then this red light shoots out of the book and just melts him.
So the two of you depart. You make your way to Kuru. The rest of the trip is rather uneventful. You arrive at the city, and you walk up. It's sort of, the opening scene of Aladdin, like Agrabah and whatnot, like the sort of like sandstone huts and whatnot. They're very square. Think of architecture similar to that. In the center, this city is also nestled in like, it's not a crevasse. It's sort of like a chunk of the mountain is missing, and the city is sitting nestled in that little hole. So there's mountain rising up on three sides of the city, sort of protecting it naturally from the elements. In the center, there's an enormous canvas tent. Inside, are you walking through the city, making your way in, or are you just staying on the outskirts for
I
now?
assume we're trying to find some sort of campground to lay our hat.
Are you staying? It's noon now. It's not that late in the day.
Oh, we probably won't set up our hat till we're ready to sleep.
Okay,
But
so
that's up to Amere. He's the hat wizard.
Yes, I am. I require 8 hours to sleep, so I best only do it then.
wonderful. The two of you make your way through the city. Then you see that this tent is an open-air market with just hundreds of shops, literally crammed in. It's huge, at least the size of 4 football fields. Just an enormous tent, and it's not like nice looking. Like, it's not even on the top. It's sort of just like held up, kind of haphazardly. Think of like the Weasley's house from Harry Potter, sort of just like leaning and tilting, but it's all up and it's hanging up, and it looks like this thing has just grown very rapidly, and they've done whatever they can to accommodate this rapid growth. You also see a very ornate looking building that bears the crest of the Sandstone Guild that you saw on the letter. And then on the far wall up against the mountains, you see an enormous palace, a very large castle structure. Where are you headed?
Amir's going to want to listen to see if he hears any music.
That's actually the first thing you noticed when you walked into the city, is that music was playing literally everywhere.
Literally everywhere.
There's music that sort of permeates the air, that you can hear sort of this constant tune anywhere that you are, and then as you weave in and out of the shops, there are just literally hundreds of musicians scattered around the city, probably thousands, playing music everywhere.
And Octavius is going to he's flipped over his shield book, and he's flipping through it, casting Detect Magic as a ritual, trying to, figure out the music. He's like, oh, interesting. It seems divine in a way and arcanic in another way.
You're overwhelmed by the sound. You can't get anything super concrete from it, but you definitely sense that it's all very magical.
So as he's just going, interesting. I don't really get a read on it. Amere, we should probably go to where we were summoned as soon as possible. They seem rich.
Yes,
We are
I
destined
suppose so.
to be rich and the most famous adventurers of all time. I am sure of it.
So the pair of you make your way over towards the Sandstone Guild. Then
We're strutting too. I'm strutting.
You open the
Yes,
door.
I am Octavius. Yes.
You go in, and it's very orderly and clean, ornate building on the inside. Think of sort of like a casino, but instead of gambling, there are these artifacts just displayed all around, and you head towards the desk, the main desk, and you speak with the receptionist who's sitting there, maybe a dispatcher or something, and he beckons to the back room, and out from the back emerge two men, a human and a gnome, and one of them, the human, is dressed very ornate clothing, a deep red robe with gold inlay. It's very, very fancy. The other, the gnome, is wearing more modest clothing. He has on a sandstone robe. On his head, he wears a crown, actually, though, that is adorned with different musical instruments. It's not especially fancy, but it definitely denotes he's of importance. And they walk to greet you. The gnome extends a hand and says to both of you, "Shade and happiness to you. Welcome to Kuru. My name is King Tanston Turin. We are so pleased to have you in our city. You must be Octavius, and you, Amere. We are..."
Octavius Sabellum the First, and Amere his companion, masters of chaos, dwellers of the hat.
The human looks a little slightly annoyed, but he hides it.
I bow deeply and go, at your service.
The king smiles, nods his head, and says, "But of course. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation. We are in grave need of your aid." And that is where we're going to end this episode, because it's going a little bit long.
Woo!
When we meet back up next week, King Turin will tell you what they need and send you out to do it for them. Questions, comments, concerns?
Oh man, was that one fun. I'm so glad to be back.
It's really fun.
Woo!
That graduation ceremony was the best.
I thought of that when I was like, okay, how are we going to get out of this one? And I was like, I got it. The great thing is I have no performance or deception of any kind, but Amere, the hijinks are just going to be great.
I figured that the headmaster had experienced this this sort of behavior from the two of you in the past. So
Several dozen times.
Yeah, he
I
just
would say.
accepts it at this point. Yeah. Anything else? We haven't gotten to see much of Kuru. That's where the majority of our story will be taking place. I've got a lot planned for you, the two of you, and these people are in fact in grave need of your help. So it should be interesting. Other than that, we're super excited to have Mitch here with us, new player.
Woo!
It's really great not doing a solo campaign.
Also, Mitch, you're
Two
rhyming.
people.
Your
Yeah.
rhyming is just so
Off the
funny
charts.
and good.
So good.
Yeah.
I can't ever play a bard now because I will feel insignificant.
That's good stuff.
Good stuff.
If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to go and check out our website, studiolt3.com. If you found us there, check us out on iTunes. We're all over the Twitter sphere, verse,
All over it.
all over it at StudioLT3. You can send us an email if you'd like to interact with us. Contact at studiolt3.com. We'd love to hear from you, and we're super excited to be back. Go check out D6 Mafia. They created this wonderful world of Threshold that we were playing in. And
Be sure to tell them about Lehman's tiny hat.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's super important. It's not a hut, it's a hat.
It's a hat.
It's a hat now.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and if you go there, you'll see that we have a whole separate campaign that finishes an arc. Moonlight. We're starting Sunlight right now.
We'll
We've got
probably
some
just keep the naming convention Moonlight for ease of use, but yeah.
We've got some great stuff from fans, so yeah, send us an email. Go on Facebook. We're facebook.com/StudioLT3.
Oh yeah, the Facebooks.
Yeah, so
the
we've gotten some really cool
Facebook
character art and
Bookiverse.
just really cool stuff of people talking to us about the campaign and sessions and stuff they've taken for their own campaigns. And yeah, there's a subreddit. What is that?
/r/D&D Threshold.
D&D Threshold. Yeah, so right there, if you want to start a campaign, yeah, D&D Threshold. If you want to start a campaign, there's threads on there. You can reach out to us or Steven or whoever you want, and it's
the
super
best.
easy. Hope you keep listening.
Other than that, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you all very much for listening. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.